Hey everybody, welcome back to Coding Out Loud, the channel where we build real projects and none of these contrived examples. Today we are going to be implementing some more tests that are marked as to do for Slub Squad. There's, I think, 7 or 8 of them that we want to knock out today. Some of them we might get done, some of them we might not. I would like to get them all done. I do only have about 2 hours. There's a hockey game on at 7 p.m. It's currently 5 o'clock my time. So I'm going to get through as many of these as I can. And if there's any left over, we'll maybe stream later this week to get through those. So the why, I mean, the name to do kind of gives it away. There are things that we need to do. So let's do them. And what we're going to do is we're just going to run vendor bin pest. I have a shortcut for that, but it's going to be vendor bin pest dash dash to dos. We're just going to pick a test. We're going to implement it and then just go through this loop until it's done. So yeah, let's just take a look. So I've run the test, the p to do here, and so here's the 7 to dos. So it gracefully handles an invalid email address. We want to track the marketplace listings and to see who's being applied or who's contacting them. This is going to be a bit of functionality that we may not be able to hit all today, because this is going to include tracking not just who makes a contact, but then allowing that person to be added to a season. So we'll see about those ones. We also want to make sure that we're not showing ticket seasons where the search is not active, and that we're rate limiting the number of contacts a person can make in a day to 3. We just want to make sure that they're not just applying for every single open ticket season, again, as kind of a anti-spam measure kind of thing. And then finally, it's this one test that to-do test that we added a couple of streams ago. This should be pretty simple, and probably the one we're going to start off with just because it is so simple, is on our season model, we have a function called name, I believe, and I want to create an attribute that isn't a function. It's like a proper Laravel attribute that gets dynamically generated just to pull the name off easier. And so what it'll probably end up being is just a proxy for the existing season function, but we'll take a look or the existing season name function, but we'll take a look at that right now. So let's hop into NeoVim and let's go take a look. So season test, okay, and to do, okay, so it has an attribute, not a function, that returns its name. And let's pull up the season model here. And so let's go down to where it exists so I can show kind of what it is right now. So yeah, so right now, if you call something like, let's say like season name, like that, I don't know what that's all about. We will just, oh, I think it's my my weather is not working. That's fine. Okay, so there is this like name property or name function, and so what we really want is we want it to be an attribute. And so what I'm curious about is if we go like this, if we just say like season factory create, yep, and then so we're gonna say this assert not null, not null. Go season equals, and actually I guess we already have a season being created. Oh yeah, let's see, no, we're not creating it before each. So okay, so we have that, so we're going to say assert not null. Actually, let's do the expectation. So we're going to say expect season name not to be null. Okay, so right now this is going to fail, obviously. Oh, it's marked as to do, right? Yeah, okay, so it's going to fail. So that the must return relationship instance, obviously it's thinking it's a relationship. It's going to be a property, an attribute. So let's go take a look at the Laravel docs. Attribute, I think it's under this one. I can never remember the syntax for it. So I know you return like an attribute instance. Let's see here. default attribute values. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Let's see here. Relationships, mutators, casts, maybe? Nope. Serialization, factories, relationships, maybe. Maybe it isn't getting started. Default attribute values, retrieving models, collections. Let's just take a look here. Attribute. It's in here somewhere. Not soft deleted that I care about. Let's scroll down to the next instance that's found. Nope. Let's take a look at model attribute. Let's see if we can find app models. Okay, so in ticket season, called team name. All right. Let's go on this one, ticket season, team name. Okay, so here's what it's supposed to look like. So we'll just start doing it here. Okay, no, that's not what we want. Undo. So we're going to say public function, and this is going to be a problem, obviously, because we're going to have conflicting function names, but we'll fix that in a second here. So we're going to say return attribute this, and then we're going to basically just copy this entire thing here. Okay, so we can delete that. Okay, and so yes, that's going to duplicate symbol. That's fine. Attribute. Yep. And so let's just go like this. Name. Actually, this is going to need to be a attribute make. Attribute make does not exist. So what is the attribute? Eloquent casts attribute. Okay. Attribute. All right. Okay, let's just import it manually. So we'll say eliminate use cast attribute. Yes, that's the one we want. Okay, so now let's rename this old one, just something temporarily. We'll just call it old name or something. Okay, and so now what we can do is we can say grep our season name. Yeah, and this should return all the instances where it's using the name property, or the name method, and we want to use the name attribute. So let's go art view clear, just to clear that out. So let's do this again. Okay, so basically these instances are where we're having the old ones. So are there any that don't need it? Ticket season. Actually, what I want to do is I want to make sure that capital S isn't causing us an issue. Let's clear that, try it one more time. Okay, season name. Okay, so, what we actually want, we want to make sure that it's actually just, so can we go like that? I don't know if this is going to work. Okay, so what I'm thinking about here is like, it could be returning a season, it could be returning a ticket season. And so I guess the easiest way to do it, let's just go like that. Run our test suite and see where it fails, and we'll just go fix the failures one by one. Okay, yeah. Okay, must be type callable. So how to test 31 to test 31. Okay, so season invite code. So it's looking at join season. So join season. Okay, and let's close that. And so this is going to be season.name. Are there any other name? No. Okay, cool. So we'll close that. Let's go back here, clear that, run our tests again, see how many tests that fixes. I guess I should have paid attention to the number, but that's okay. Okay, that's okay. How to test 31. 31. Okay, so it's still showing up there as an issue. So let's take a look at the join season component. Are we looking for name anywhere in here? Oops. Nope. Okay. So why? It's probably on the other, like this one here. Okay. Okay, so we had 26 failures. Let's run our tests again, see how many that fixed. Still 26. Okay, well, that's okay. It's different errors coming up this time. Check for invite code 11. Check for invite code. Was it test? Yeah, number 11. Okay, so invitation code. Assert okay. So the dashboard obviously is going to have a bunch of references to this. So name, ticket season name. Yep. Oops. Okay. Anywhere else? Name, ticket season name. No more. Okay. Okay, so we had 26 failures. Let's see how many we got this time. $26 still. Okay. Still having an issue with this how to test. Okay. How to test. Okay, so 31. Now I'm curious if it's in the ticket season factory. No, it's going to be in the season factory. Just want to make sure that we're not referencing the name in here anywhere. No, okay. Name, oops. Gotta go back to my NeoVim here. Okay, so N is the next one. All right. Right there. Name. S name. Okay, 1 of 1. Okay, let's see if that solves our issue here. Okay, so 26 again. No, feel like it's still going to be the same. 26 still, yep. Check for invite code test. Let's just go into our, let's see if we can pull up some obvious ones here. Okay, so season, okay, so what is it? Oh, okay, so that's actually a problem with the way we built the attributes, so that's fine. So let's go back to NeoVim, let's go to season, yep. And so let's go to return attribute make. See how many that fixes. Still 26. Okay, let's go back to the web here for a second, see where else it's failing. Argument get must be of type callable string given. Am I making the attribute in the wrong way? Oh, right, because it has to be the get function. Okay, so yeah, definitely doing that wrong. Okay, let's go back to here, and we're going to say return get. What is it? Yeah, is a function. Unexpected that. Okay, so where are we missing here? So let's fix the tabbing here. Oh, return new attribute. Wow. Okay, so if that what are we missing here? So it's got to be that. Just make sure this is proper. So return new attribute, blah. Get function. Let's go like this. Okay. Right, because it can't be a single line. Okay, so there we go. So that should now be a proper attribute. So now let's run our tests again and see less than 26, hopefully. Let me check here. Must be a type string. Okay, so well, I see. Look, yeah, 19. Okay, so we're making progress. Okay, so what else is it complaining about? It is complaining about here on the landing page. Okay, So let's do that first. Landing page. Landing page. Recover that. Cool. So that should be okay. Okay, so argument must be of type callable, string given. Okay, so what else are we not doing correctly here? I'm looking at the so basically the way they have this structured is it's just returning a string itself. It's not doing an attribute make. So let's see. Okay, that seems to have worked. So let's go back here, run our tests again, see how many more of that solved. Well, I'm seeing a lot less X's. That's good. 8, love it. Okay, so season test. So let's just close out of here, go back in here. Season test. Okay, so name. Okay, so that one's solved. Can we scroll up here and see any more obvious ones? Let's just clear out our art view clear. Let's just rerun our test to see what is actually a problem. Okay, 7 failures. Okay, landing page test. So number 25. Landing page test 25. Okay, assert don't see name. Okay, that and this. Cool. Run them again. Hopefully, we only have 5 failed this time. 5 failed. Good stuff. Okay. Ticket season test. Ticket season test. What was it? 113? Yeah, 113. Okay. No more in this file. Okay. Hopefully down to just 3, 4. Okay. All right. So recover deleted seasons. Recover. Oh, my goodness. Recover deleted seasons. Yep. Name. Okay, doesn't exist anywhere else in there. What else we got? Recover deleted seasons, recover deleted seasons. Okay, so those are all 3 of those. And seasons list. Seasons list. Okay, if we've done that correctly, all of our tests should now pass, hopefully. Beautiful. Okay, so we're down to 6 to-dos. So that's amazing. Let's get in here And we're just going to commit all this stuff. And we're going to say replacing. And actually what we can do too is we can also, if we go into season, now that we are using the attribute, we don't even need this old name, function that we created kind of as a temporary thing. So we can just get rid of that. Okay, so now let's just run our test one more time just to make sure. It shouldn't, because nothing should be referencing that function. I just want to make sure that we haven't inadvertently deleted a line or something while I was editing. Okay, cool. So let's go into Git, and we will stage that, and we will say replace season name with attribute. Cool. Okay, so that can be pushed. Let that finish. Beautiful. Okay, so let's clear that out. Let's run our to-dos again and see what else we got. Okay, so marketplace test does not show ticket seasons where the search is not active. Okay, that should be a much easier one. So let's get out of here, reset. And which one was this? Marketplace test. Okay, marketplace test. Okay, so where are we here? Where the search is not active. So what we want to say is, yeah, perfect. Okay, so this, what we really want actually is this. And the reason I want to make this clear is, I mean, we're technically making the marketplace listing by itself, but we're attaching it to the ticket season, and that's really what we care about. Is we want to make sure that that we're not just like checking something we just created, right? Okay, so I believe it's actually is active. Okay, so attempt to modify property marketplace listing on null. Okay, so I probably just, used the wrong syntax here. Okay. Attempt to modify marketplace listing on null. So let's take a look at ticket season. What is the relationship called? Marketplace listing, okay. Marketplace listing. Let's go take a look at the marketplace listing. And what is the field called? Okay, so it is active. And so the other thing we're not doing is we're not doing that. So we can go this ticket season. Okay, so it does not show. Failed asserting that blah, blah, blah does not contain, I'm guessing, right? Does not contain example note. Okay, so let us, oh, right, because we have to say this, ticket season marketplace listing save. And now, okay, cool. So now we're sure that the search is not active. If it isn't, it's not showing up. I just want to make sure, did we already have a test for that? Because it's possible we did. This is an email, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. So we now have a working test for that. So let's say, oops. Oh my goodness. Do not show marketplace listings that are not active. Cool. Okay, I know there's one other one in here. So it is rate limited to 3 responses per day. So this is where it's going to get a little bit tricky, because we're going to have basically another model that constantly tracks who's making contact requests. and so that we can basically have a list of every time that someone makes a contact request, we add another line to this, or add another record to this model, and that before actually sending the request, that it checks to make sure that there haven't been 3 from this person in the previous day, in the previous 24 hours. So again, by TDD, let's go. So what do we want? We want to say user factory create. Yeah, that's all fine. So we want to say, say seasons equals ticket season factory. I think it's count. Let's make it 5. Well, we're only going to need 4, so whatever, it's fine. Create, yep. And so we now have for each season as seasons, or seasons as season, we want to say how do we want to do? We want to say Livewire test marketplace item season, yep. And we want to say call confirm, yep. And so what we want is, so how are we going to do this? I'm going to say, pardon me. So after all of this is done, we want to say contact ticket owner class. I believe the 3 is actually what we're looking for here. So what is going on here? Why is this going crazy here? Mail assert contact ticket owner class 3. And we also want to make sure that we're going to say like marketplace contact yeah, so marketplace contact request, where user ID, so let's say get, and we're going to actually say expect this to have count 3, because we only want to make sure that there was 3 sent, and rate limited to 3 responses per day. And let's now say carbon set test now, carbon day add 1. And now we can say, okay, actually let's make this 5. And now let's say yank this, paste this here, seasons 4, because we want the last one and it's 0 indexed, and we want to yank that and paste that here, and then we want to yank that, expect this to have 4. Okay, so okay, so to just kind of go over what I'm thinking about here is, so we have we have 5 ticket seasons for whatever reason, right? There's 5 people who have created these seasons, and we're this user that wants to join a bunch of these seasons, right? So at first, we want to make sure that, because this is all happening effectively, like this test is running right like immediately one after another, and we're basically making sure that only 3 of these contact requests are actually ever sent at first. And so that's what we're also saying, like these marketplace contact requests there should only ever actually be 3. The person might try for 5, but there should only ever actually be 3. Then we're going to set the clock forward a day. And then we're going to basically try and have this same person, reach out to the number 4 or the number 5th season. And then basically we want to make sure that there was another contact ticket owner, and I'm curious if this is a cumulative count. Yeah, let's do 4 just to make sure that it shows that it's queued. And then we want to make sure that this should have a count of 4 as well. So let's make that model. So art, make, model, marketplace. Actually, do we have a model that does this already? I don't think we do. I think the marketplace communications. Oh, we actually do. Okay, so that's even better. So we don't even need to create a model for it. We already got one. So this is just going to be a marketplace communication. Okay, so this is definitely going to fail because we've got a lot of stuff we're checking here. So attempting to read property team on null, of course. So let's go, where's our before each here? Oh, and actually, we don't want to act as this guy until the seasons have been created. And that's because we want to make sure that they're being created by a different person, because you can't join your own season. Admin equals user factory create. And this is also going to be admin. Okay, so again, this is going to fail because we haven't fixed the team issue here. Attempting to read property team on null. So why are these not creating a team? Ticket season factory. Sports team should be fine. Ticket season. What is our ticket season model? Is there like a home team that we're not setting? No, it's just the team. So where is it failing? Views 5. Ticket season. So it's basically complaining about this, and that relationship should be fine. Why is it not creating? Okay, well, let's go like this. How do we do it up here? Home team, blah, blah, blah. And then we just recycle that home team. Okay, fine. Ticket seasons. And we want to say recycle home team. Attempting to read property team on null. Okay, what the heck? I feel like we should fix this. Cycle. Oh, I think what we're actually looking for here is what do we actually need to make the marketplace item? Marketplace item. what is actually in our constructor here? So we need a marketplace listing, not a season. So how are we doing it down here? Marketplace listing. And what does our factory have? So it should create all of the things. Okay, so actually, should be able to close a bunch of this, and instead of doing all of this stuff, let's go like this. This acting as, so we're going to say listings equals marketplace listing factory 5 create. Yep. And this is going to be listings as listing actually I think the verb is called item here. Public method confirm not found on component. Okay, so are we calling it on the wrong place? Yes, we are. Right, because what we actually want is disclaimer, right? Yeah, marketplace disclaimer. Yeah. And what does it need? It needs a listing too. Okay, cool. So this needs to be marketplace disclaimer. Okay, so that's fine. Constraint failed. What are we missing here? Marketplace listing ID. Do we need to do it like this? Close a bunch of these to get rid of them. Marketplace disclaimer. Okay, so we should be taking in the full listing, not just the ID. Okay. And what is it's called listing. Okay, so we can do that. Listing. This is going to be, okay, so again, this is gonna fail for a different reason. Okay, so mailable was queued 5 times instead of 3. Okay, that's good because that means we're not checking for how many have been sent. So that's kind of what we would expect. This is gonna fail in a minute. So basically just going to, let's go like this, marketplace disclaimer. This is really listing. And it's going to be listing. I wonder if we can do an index like that. I don't think it's going to work like that, but we can try. Okay, so contact ticket owner. And that's not what we want. We want the disclaimer. Disclaimer. So yeah, so we're going to add another check in here. So we're going to say count of contacts in 24 hours, in last 24 hours equals marketplace communication where blah, blah, no, not that. Where user ID, yes. We're between sub days. Yep. And now, yep. Okay, so let's format this a little nicer, like that. Okay. Import carbon. Actually, is carbon still? Oh my goodness. Can we do carbon like that? So I think we can just do now as the helper method. I think that's a real thing. So I can't remember if. So we're gonna say toast. You have already contacted 3 admins in the past 24 hours. Please try again later. Okay, so I'm not sure if this is going to work. Failed asserting that 3 is identical to 4. Okay. Okay, so if the count of contacts is greater than, what do we want to say? If it's greater than 3, because 4 is where we want to cut it off. Failed asserting that 4. Okay, so 104 is going to be this one. Okay. Okay, so what are we not doing correctly? If count of contacts in last 24 hours, so that should be fine. Okay, so illustrating that 4 is identical to 3. So basically what this is saying is that we're not sending this next one, and I'm thinking it might have to do with this. So let's go listings. Is there like a last? Okay. Okay, so all this is passing. So we're checking the right number of things. We're basically ensuring that there's only 3 being set, because the issue that it's coming up with is on line 104. Oh, so it's actually the first one. So it's not checking the right number, the right count. So count of contacts in the last 24 hours. Count of contacts is greater than 3. It should immediately be redirecting before it sends the email. So why is there 4? I'm curious why it's 4 and not 5 when we're creating 5. Let's do this. Just dump the count and see if it's counting correctly first. Should get 1, 2, 3, 4. We are not. Okay, so why is that not happening? Pardon me. Just even see if we're even getting here correctly. Okay, so we're seeing that. So let's go Why are we not getting the other dumps? It's going there, but it's not dumping that. So let's go. Marketplace tests. Yeah. Why is it not dumping? I'm curious if it's because it's running in parallel mode. Yeah. Okay, so we're getting a bunch of dumps there, which is fine. So now let's go back here. Okay, so it's doing it 3 times twice. Because there's going to be a test here that's it's actually working. Yank this so that we're only filtering by that. Okay, so yeah, so it's doing 5 times. Interesting. Okay, so let's take a look at our function again here. Confirm. So the listing should be different each time because we're looping through the listings here. Hey, big blagger clerk. Sorry, I didn't see your message. I'm not sure how long it's been there, but yeah, welcome. Okay, so contact ticket owner. Let's go like this. Dump listing, whatever ID, sure. Yeah, it's really annoying that it doesn't do the dumps there. Okay, so it's doing all 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. But what should be happening here is if we dump this out, it should only be getting to this point. This, I think it's this listing ID. Yeah. Should only be getting to this point 3 times because there's kind of this should redirect the person to the marketplace before it actually gets to the point where it tries to send the email. So let's see what happens here. So yeah, so it's getting there 4 times. So our checking here is incorrect. So if count of contacts in the last 24 hours is greater than 3, right? We want to say if it's equal to 3, because if there's already been 3 contacts, then it should fail. Okay, so what line are we on? 105 now. Okay, so if we say that count of contacts in the last 24 hours is greater than greater than or equal to 3. Failed that 3 is identical to 4. And it should just be equal to. Why is it saying it's declared? There we go. Okay. Marketplace test 111. Okay, so that's good. So we're getting closer here. Where between? So we're created at now, sub days now. Add day. Okay, so what this is basically saying now is it's not sending this fourth one. So that's okay. So we say count of contacts. So let's say add day, add minutes, add minute, whatever, just to make sure that it's like 24 hours plus, a little bit. And now we have a working test. So now we can be certain that people aren't going to be spamming our admins, because it's making sure that it's only sending, a person can only send a maximum of 3 per day. Okay. Three per day. 24-hour clock has reset. Can send more. Up to 3 more. We're only checking 1. Okay, so that test is done. So let's commit this one. Adding anti-spam by limiting number of contacts to 3 per day. All right, that's awesome. Okay, so let's go to our to-dos and see what else we got here. Okay, marketplace testing test. I think we're going to skip these 3 here for now. So what we will do though is we will do this invitation test. It gracefully handles an invalid email address. And so let's close out of here. Invitation test. Okay, and so yeah, it's still failing my stupid address. That's fine. Okay, so the issue is that if someone sends, gives us an email, like an invalid email address, we are throwing an invalid email address exception, but we should be handling that better. Is basically, we should basically have some kind of error handling so that if we do send an invitation to like a fake email, it should actually like complain, right? It shouldn't just like error out. It should give the user like an intelligent answer to say, or an intelligent response to say like, hey, this is an invalid email address. Try again, kind of thing. So let's go into our account here and let's go to this season here. And if we go to our invitation model, I think that's what it is, right? Invitation observer. Yeah, so it was trying to create this model, this invitation model, and in using the invitation observer. And so what we do here is we let's just import this so that it's actually there. Undefined type crypt. Well, I mean, it's right there, so I don't know what you're complaining about. Anyways, so what we do is in our observer, we basically run it through this email validator to make sure that it's legit. And so what we should be doing is basically saying, like, if it's invalid, we should be catching that invitation in the in the component and basically say like this is an invalid email address. So let's go to our admin season input here. And so if we go to email address, so I'm actually kind of confused as to why it would even allow that, because it shouldn't. So if we just go like make a fake email invite, this should just basically complain. Oh, okay, so we're not actually handling it properly. Okay, so that's why. That would make sense. So let us go back to Alacrity and take a look at why this rule is not actually checking correctly. Toggle send invite. Okay, so what we're not doing here, and this is a mistake on my part, is we need to authorize the request, and there's, you know what, we're going to do it this way because I want to go back to this format anyways for these kinds of things. So I'm curious if it has to do with this not having the right check. So let's go in email invite. No. Okay. So let's undo that. And what we really need to do is we need to say validate. This is going to be a, okay, what are we not doing here? Livewire, validate attributes, validate. Okay. Needs to be an email. I believe it's just email. I don't think it's actually email address. So what this is this is like one of the Laravel validator types. So if we go back to Sub Squad and refresh this, no property for validation, email address. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so why is that not picking up here? Do we need to, I think there's like a, yeah, so we need to call this validate. So we need to go this validate. If we're trying to send the invite, and actually let's put that after the authorization. We don't even want to check the validation if it's not a real, if it's not an authorized person in here. Okay, good. It's not actually failing, which is good. We just need to put some error check, like an error note here, basically saying like this is not a valid email address. So let's go admin season and invite. Okay, so what we want to do is if show email, and then we also want to say, is there like a, what am I looking for here? I'm looking for the Livewire docs, which I've closed. Okay. And validate attributes. Is there like, sometimes they'll have like just like some basic HTML or Blade, whatever, that we can use to show that there's errors on here. So first, let's go back to Alacrity, invitation test. And so what we want to say is, just delete this and say this get route. No, not that route. Livewire test admin season class, and this is going to take season. This, is there a season here? Okay, invitation. Okay, so it's actually not even this test that we want to be working in. It's actually the admin season test. And I apologize if you can hear my stomach growling. That's kind of embarrassing. Admin season test. Okay, so it validates that the email address to be invited is valid. Sure. So we're going to say Livewire tested in season. Yep. We're going to say set email address to Bob. Sure. I want to assert has errors. Yes. So this should at least pass. Yep. Okay. So now we're just going to go and say, so our test is passing. We're actually validating the right stuff now. We just want to actually put some stuff in the view to actually show that it's failing. And I was hoping that there is some boilerplate that we could just copy and paste. I thought there was. Oh, right here. Okay, so yep, sure, we'll start with this. So and let's put the div inside the error. Because we don't even want it to exist if it doesn't. And so we're gonna, if there's an error on the email address, we're going to say class, sure. Let's see how bad that looks. Say send, it's not showing up still. Observer, don't care about this, just care about this. So we're validating, and we are validating the email address. That can go away. So why are these not showing up? Error, email, oh, that's why. Okay, let's try this one more time. Yeah, email address field must be valid email address. As soon as we put in a real one, it disappears. Beautiful. And I don't like that the placeholder text is that bright. So let's fix that. So placeholder text, gray, 400. I don't know. What does that look like? Because we're not doing it at the right place. Text sync 400. Let's make it even darker. Yeah, that's better. Just enough to show that there is a placeholder. But yeah, if we start typing a wrong email address, must be a valid email address. As soon as we start making it a real email address, it's good. All right. So we are golden, I believe. So let's go back here. And let's say validating email addresses before they are invited. So if we go back to our tests and we run to-dos, there should only be 3 left. And those 3 are ones that I'm going to have to give a little more thought to, because there's a lot that goes into this, because basically what we're going to have to start doing is like build like an entire kind of management panel for any potential incoming invites. And we're also going to be tracking the emails that come through, because it'll at least we have to track all of the people that have been invited, kind of thing, right? And so I think that's going to take a little more time. So I think what we'll do is maybe tomorrow, if I believe I have some time tomorrow, tomorrow afternoon, and hop on for a couple hours and we'll build out this entire feature. I want to give it the appropriate amount of care. And right now I only have like less than an hour to work on it. And we definitely won't be done by then. And so I want to basically have it as a full blown feature and like from start to finish. So I think we'll kind of close it off here. Let's go back to our Notion. So we ran vendor bin tests, we picked a test, we implemented it and go to one. So we did all those things. Yeah, so I just want to thank you guys for joining me again. If you haven't already, if you can follow me on YouTube, it's youtube.com/@nexay_dev. I'm on Twitch at twitch.tv/nexay. And on Twitter, twitter.com/nexay. I'm starting to post there again. So if you haven't followed me on those platforms, I'd really appreciate it. Again, thank you very much for joining me. I will see you guys tomorrow, and I will see you in the next one. Later.